Ding, ding, ding. Welcome to the first episode of Cryptos and Coffee with the Oracle, your source for all crypto and blockchain info before you hear it anywhere else. In an annual filing to the Securities and Exchange Commission, America's second largest bank, Bank of America, has expressed fears over cryptocurrency's potential to undermine and control banks. It has been long speculated that Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies pose a threat to major banks and traditional financial institutions. Now, Bank of America admits it could be forced to deal with substantial costs associated with the emerging market of cryptocurrencies. The widespread adoption of new technologies, including internet services, cryptocurrencies, and payment systems, could require substantial expenditures to modify or adapt our existing products and services, America's second largest bank wrote in its annual filing with the SEC. Too bad, Bank of America. With this in mind, Bank of America has unsurprisingly joined the club of banks which prevent customers from using credit cards to buy cryptocurrencies, claiming it's just our view that customers should be careful here. Yeah, like we need more protection. We don't know how to handle our cryptos, baby. Of course, financial institutions could afford to be a little more careful themselves. In other credit card news, last week, major credit card company Visa caused an enormous error which duplicated Coinbase customers' purchase orders multiple times. The mistake, which Visa originally blamed on the popular cryptocurrency exchange Coinbase, drained many customers' accounts and caused many a headache. Many proponents of Bitcoin and cryptos have long speculated that major banks and financial institutions are threatened by the new largely decentralized market. Bank of America's annual statement filing with the SEC is the first time this sentiment has ever been recorded on paper. Very interesting times. The Chinese say, may you live in interesting times. In crypto and automotive news, Tesla, the electric car manufacturer, has become the latest victim of a cryptocurrency mining malware attack after its cloud service was hijacked to mine cryptocurrency. Hackers were able to gain access to Tesla's cloud environment and use its computing power to mine cryptos. According to a blog post by Redlock, the hackers accessed Tesla cloud environment via a vulnerability in the console of Tesla, not the car, but their main cloud source. The blog post further went on to say that Redlock cybersecurity team had alerted Tesla about the perceived vulnerability months ago. The Tesla cloud hackers decided to alter their tactics. Instead of using public mining pool, they installed a mining pool software and hid it behind Cloudflare. The mining pool software made it difficult to detect their incursion into Tesla's cloud environment, as the IP address was obscured from system administrators. Although hackers set up the mining pool software in such a way that it did not utilize a significant amount of computing power, the undetected IP address and low power consumption helped make the detection of these hackers more difficult. Commenting on the matter, a Tesla spokesperson insisted that the hack did not compromise customer information stored on the company's servers. The spokesperson also went on to say that the company has a bounty bug program that invites people to research and identify bugs and vulnerabilities such as the one exploited by these hackers. This is a growing trend known as cryptojacking. The Tesla cloud hack is just the latest in a series of malware attacks that are carried out for the purpose of mining cryptocurrency. The act of creating malware to siphon off processing power from computers to surreptitiously mine cryptocurrency is beginning to become a common trend. Earlier this month, there was a report in the UK that cryptocurrency malware affected UK government websites. Cryptojacking is still becoming more and more of a common occurrence, as illicit mining scripts are now even being attached to YouTube ads. Many of these mining attacks severely reduce the operating capacity of the victim's computer, since 80%, as much as 80% of the computing power can be hijacked by these mining malware programs. People, you need to take more care than ever, about your protecting your computer, your IP address, using proper VPNs, and virus software may not be enough. You also need anti-keylogger software. I personally use Zone Alarm. Zone Alarm is a favorite of mine. It's caught many things that even Norton or McAfee does not pick up. Bitcoin has recovered past the $10,000 mark. This is a psychologically important barrier, and briefly slipping below the $10,000 mark on Thursday. At present, Bitcoin is valued at $10,199 on Bitfinex, which represents a single-day increase of about 0.04%, but a 6% increase from the intraday low of $9,583. Bitcoin now has a $174 billion cap. And if you've noticed, the fees and transaction times in Bitcoin are improving greatly. The moderate recovery is potentially linked to the news that stock trading app Robinhood had begun rolling out its cryptocurrency trading service, which was first announced in January. The service is currently only available to a limited number of users in 5 U.S. states, but the company intends to quickly expand this in the coming months. Investors are largely bullish on the fact that most of Robinhood's 4 million registered users will soon have the ability to trade Bitcoin and Ethereum, and more cryptocurrencies are on the way. Speaking of Ethereum, Ethereum's market cap is now currently valued at $85.5 billion, placing its share of the index just a few points below 20% of the entire crypto market cap. The remaining large cap altcoins achieved a mixed advance, with most cryptocurrencies remaining close to the index. The Ripple price and Bitcoin Cash price each rose 2% and are currently trading at 95 cents and $1,272 respectively. Litecoin and Cardano, meanwhile, largely held steady at their previous day levels. Now, personally, I'm not really a fan of many altcoins, but Cardano, if we were going to look at something that could possibly be an Ethereum killer in the future, it could be Cardano, more so than Tron or anything else. And the only problem I find with Cardano is the immense circulating supply. It's rather insane. But if you're going to play with an altcoin, and this is not financial advice, you might want to consider Cardano. But this is a buy and hold and pray strategy. Personally, I invest in Ethereum. I bought Ethereum recently around 600. I plan to hold my Ethereum up until 1700, and then I'm going to walk away from Ethereum and never look back, because I feel there are other technologies that are going to come out that are going to eclipse Ethereum. And if regulation comes out against ICOs that severely cap the ability of new ICOs, this could potentially cripple Ethereum, since most ICOs run on the Ethereum network. EOS price rose 4%, trailing only Ethereum among the top 10 cryptocurrencies, and NEO's 1% increase tracked the index. Stellar, the 9th largest cryptocurrency, posted a single-day decline of 1%, reducing its price to 36 cents, while IOTA rounded out the top 10 with a 2% increase to $1.75. Your Bitcoin may be lost for good if you die without a plan for it. You need to plan for how your loved ones will access those assets in the event that you are no longer able to. Start by taking an inventory of everything you have acquired and decide who should handle them when you're gone. As more and more people live their lives online, so do their assets. That goes for everything from digital currency and investment accounts to social media and photo storage. That creates a huge challenge for estate planning. How should digital assets be handled after you pass away? Many states have attempted to address this by adopting the Fiduciary Access to Digital Oh gosh, it's one of those mornings. We need more coffee with our cryptos. Fiduciary Access to Digital Assets Act, established by the nonprofit Uniform Law Commission. The law expands a fiduciary's purview to include digital assets in addition to marital property. But even with legislative efforts, the burden still largely falls on individuals to plan for what will happen to those assets. Unlike traditional bank or securities accounts, most wallet services that hold cryptos don't have you name beneficiaries. Leaving instructions on how to access those private keys will help prevent the loss of those assets. Account holders need to make their wishes known, otherwise their accounts can live on in perpetuity. Include sentimental assets. Certain amounts or certain accounts, particularly social media or photo storage, might not have monetary value, yet could cause emotional distress if your heirs are cut off from them. One of the most important things that we should pass down to our children are photos we've taken of them, in addition to your cryptos. Social media is another area where your legacy lives on, even if you don't. That can include reminders of birthdays and anniversaries that can be painful for those left behind. On the list of anti-cryptocurrency countries, Poland has never really stuck out. In fact, there has been enough evidence to suggest that the Eastern European country was moving towards embracing Bitcoin and blockchain technology. However, recently, a smear campaign was uncovered by the NBP, the National Polish Bank, or the central bank, and it's all been thrown out of alignment. The NBP has admitted paying a number of YouTubers the sum of $21,000 in order to dissuade Polish citizens into or from buying cryptocurrencies by fear, instilling fear in them that they would lose all their money. This so-called educational campaign trying to get across the dangers of cryptocurrency has come across more like a smear campaign, which raises questions about how the Polish governments really view cryptocurrencies. In ICO news, 46% of last year's ICOs have already failed. It's always been assumed that a large number of ICOs will fail, be it at the fundraising stage or when it comes to delivering the actual working project. It's hard to settle on a precise figure. However, as most dubious ICOs don't exit scam, they slowly tiptoe away, like a thief rather than a smash and grab robber. Having completed an extensive study into last year's crowd sales, Bitcoin.com can report that 46% of them are effectively dead, and all wow, 46% of them are dead already, despite raising over $104 million. They say ICOs are even riskier than you think. Given enough time, everything withers and dies, from the most robust institutions to the most popular crowd sales. No one expected all of 2017 ICOs to last the course. The pace of which they withered and died may come as a surprise. Token Data, one of the most comprehensive ICO trackers, lists 902 crowd sales which took place last year. Of these, 142 failed at the funding stage, and a further 276 have further failed, either due to taking the money and running or slowly fading into obscurity. This means that 46% of last year's ICOs have failed. The number of ICOs that are actually a still growing concern is actually even lower. An additional 113 ICOs can be classified as semi-failed, either because their team has stopped communicating on social media or because their community is so small as to mean the project has no chance of success. This means 59% of last year's crowd sales are either confirmed failures or failures in the making. In a recent blog post, the director of the SEC's Office of Investor Education and Advocacy noted that cryptocurrencies and related investments are still relatively new, arguing that some investors may not know exactly who they are dealing with or where their money is going or what they will get in return. Indeed, much of the post highlighted the risks associated with investing in cryptocurrency-related markets, advising readers to always do thorough, independent research of the product. These statements echoed past alerts published by the SEC as well as the Commodities Future Trading Commission. Last week, the CTFC issued a warning on pump and dump groups operating within the cryptocurrency market. So, I hope you enjoyed this first episode of Coffee and Cryptos with the Oracle. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and as always, stay frosty, baby.